Hi, good afternoon, students. Welcome to our online classes. In the previous class, we were discussing about the first political chapter, that is our constitution. In that, we have discussed about introduction and about the Indian Constituent Assembly and some other informations. Okay, especially we also discussed about a drafting committee. Okay. In this class, we are going to discuss about the framing of the constitution. After forming drafting committee, how that committee successfully has written our constitution under the leadership of or chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. In yesterday's class, I told you under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, drafting committee formed. Okay, along with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, some eminent persons were exist in that committee. Successfully, after studying various countries' constitution, Ambedkar, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and his teammates successfully written a suitable constitution to our country. Okay, so how they wrote a suitable constitution to a country like India, we will discuss in this class. Okay, how Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and his teammates successfully has written a suitable constitution to our country. Okay, so that's why we are going to discuss about the framing of the constitution. See that the Constituent Assembly took 2 years, 11 months, 18 days to complete its work. Okay, drafting committee, especially this Constituent Assembly, has taken 2 years, 11 months, 18 days in order to complete its work. Okay, 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days. Constituent Assembly has taken 2 years, 11 months, 18 days to complete its work. Okay, in that 2 years, 11 months, 18 days. During that time, Constituent Assembly formed 22 committees and 5 subcommittees to examine in detail all the issues related to the country, and they decided and has taken suitable decision about a suitable constitution to our country. Okay, so that's why Constituent Assembly has taken 2 years, 18 days to complete its work. During that time, during these discussions, various laws enacted by the British. Okay, already uh, you studied about our constitution, but in next year, in it means in 10th standard, you will detailedly study about these laws or the laws enacted by the British government in 1909, 1919, 1935, etc. Okay. In next year, you will study detailedly about this these laws enacted by the British government during that period. Okay. India Government Act of 1909, India Government Act of 1919, and this Indian Government Act of 1935, and about various laws you will study in next year. Okay. And next point, the British Parliament, the British parliamentary system. It means what we have this Indian parliamentary system. This parliamentary system of government enacted by this Britain government. Okay, by seeing Britain the parliamentary system of Britain, we have adopted that system. Okay. the British parliamentary system and the American Bill of Rights. What we have these fundamental rights and duties. We have adopted that fundamental rights uh, from American country's constitution. And the social directive policies of Ireland were studied. These directive principles of the state policies were enacted by the Ireland to our constitution. Okay, these directive principles of the state policies were enacted by the Ireland, Ireland country's constitution. Okay. Finally, the Indian constitution was approved on 26th November 1949. Okay, by adding all these special acts, the British parliamentary system of British, okay, the British parliamentary system or parliamentary system of British, and the next American Bill of Rights, the social directive policies of Ireland were studied. Some elements of those were incorporated. Okay. And finally, the Indian Constitution was approved on 26 November 1914. By studying various countries' constitution, it means by studying various countries' constitution under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, they selected some points which are suitable to our country. Okay, these Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and his teammates had studied various countries' constitution and they selected which points types of laws are best suitable to our country. That type of laws only adopted by that country. Okay, are hired by that country's constitution. So finally, Ambedkar and his teammates, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and his teammates, submitted their report to Indian government. Okay, this drafting committee submitted its report to government of India on 26 November 1949. Finally, it approved by the government of India and it came into force on 26th January 1950. Okay, India adopted its own constitution. It's very important. Dr. Drafting Committee submitted its report to Indian government on 26th November 1999. Okay, so every year on 26th November we are celebrating as a Constitution Day. Okay, 26th November every year we are celebrating as a Constitution Day. And in the following year on 26th January 1950 Indian Constitution came into force. Okay, so that's why on 26th January we are celebrating as a Republic Day every year. Okay, every year we are celebrating Republic Day on 26th January. It's very important. On 26th November, every year we are celebrating a Constitution Day, and on 26th January, we every year we are celebrating as a Republic Day. Next, preamble to the Constitution. How preamble wrote to our constitution, see that the Indian constitution has combined in itself the best features of different constitutions of the world and has its own preamble. Now only I told you, the Indian constitution has combined in itself the best features of different constitutions of the world. Indian Constitution is a mixture of different features of different constitution. Okay, Indian Constitution is a mixture of different features of different constitutions of the world. It means different countries' constitutions of the world. But it has its own preamble. Okay, the preamble contains the fundamental policies, the ideas of the constitution, etc. Okay, the preamble of the constitution. The preamble contains the fundamental policies and ideals of the constitution. It's very important, the preamble, how the preamble of the Indian Constitution has written. The Indian Constitution has combined in itself the best features of different constitutions of the world, but it has its own preamble. Next, the preamble contains the fundamental policies and ideals of the Constitution. It is the sum of the structure, values, principles, and goals of the Constitution. It is based on the aspirations and ideals of the people of India. This is about a brief introduction to this preamble to the Constitution. Okay, it's very important. Preamble, what it contains? The preamble contains the fundamental policies and ideals of the constitution. Next, it is the sum of the structure. It is the sum of the structure, values, principles, and ideals of the constitution. And it is based on the aspirations and ideals of the people of the country or people of India. See, next, the preamble is a part of the objective resolution put forward by Jawaharlal Nehru on December 13th, 1946 and approved by the Constituent Assembly on 22nd January 1947. This resolution upholds the natures of India's sovereign democratic republic nature. Social, economic, and political justice for all people is upheld. Okay, the preamble is a part of the objective resolution put forward by Jawaharlal Nehru on 13th December 1946 and approved by the Constituent Assembly on 22nd January 1947. This resolution upholds the nature of the India's sovereignty, democratic values, and republic nature. Okay, social, economic, and political justice for all people is upheld. Okay, here in this preamble of the Constitution as given, how the preamble of the Indian Constitution starts. See that. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereignty, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens. Okay, our Indian Constitution's preamble starts like this. Okay, we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereignty, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens, and justice, social, economic, and political liberty, liberty of among them all. Next, ensuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of a nation. Integrity of the nation. Next, in our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. Sorry, ourselves this Constitution. Okay, the word socialist and secular were added by the 42nd Constituent Amendment Act of 1976. Okay, these two words laterally inserted in our constitution. Okay, the words socialist and secular were added by the 42nd Amendment Constitution Amendment made to Indian Constitution in 1976. Okay, when did 42nd Amendment made to the Indian Constitution, which two terms are inserted in our Constitution. Okay, in 1976, in 1976, 42nd Amendment to our Indian Constitution. Through that, these socialist and secular, these two terms were added to our constitution. Okay, these two terms were added to in our constitution. Okay, which are the two terms added to our constitution in 1976. Two terms which added to constitution through 42nd amendment. Okay, the preamble to our constitution is meaningful. It describes our political system and is a key to understand our constitution. Okay, what do you mean by preamble? Okay, the preamble to our constitution is meaningful and it describes our political system and it is a key to understand our constitution. What is preamble? It describes our political system and it is a key to understand our constitution. It has been described as the jewel of the constitution. This preamble has to be described as the jewel of the constitution. K. Munshi has referred to it as a political horoscope. Okay. Preamble of the constitution is called as the or described as the jewel of the constitution, and K.M. Munshi has referred to it as a political horoscope. Okay, and next, now only I told you, we the Indian citizens. Okay. American country's constitution also starts like this: we the people of America. Okay, American country's constitution's preamble also starts like that: we the people of America. But our country's constitution's preamble also starts like this: we the Indian citizens. The preamble of the constitution being the preamble of the Constitution begins with the citizen of India. The Indian Constitution is framed by the Indians. It strives to fulfill the dreams of Indians. Say that Indian Constitution is framed by the Indians. Okay, Indian Constitution is framed by the Indians, and it is trying to or it strives to fulfill the dreams of Indians. See, our constitution is framed by ourselves. Okay, Indian constitution is framed by Indians, so that's why it is trying to fulfill our dreams. Next is sovereign. India is a sovereign country and not under the control of any other country in the world. Okay, what do you mean by sovereign? Sovereign is a country which is not under the control of any other country. Okay, which countries are called as a sovereign countries? It means uh, which countries are called as a sovereign country? Answer to this question is the countries which are not under the control of any other countries or independent nations or independent countries are called as a sovereign nations. Okay, India is a sovereign country and not under the control of any other country in the world. It is not a part of any bloc. India is not a part of any bloc. After the Second World War, entire world has been entire world has been divided into two parts. Okay, in 1939, Second World War started, and it ended in 1945. After the end of that Second World War, entire world has been divided into two parts. Okay, so or two blocks. Entire world, especially after the end of First World War, entire world has been divided into two powerful blocks. Okay, democratic bloc and a republic bloc. So that's why it is not a part of any bloc, and it has its own. What is the main goal of our constitution? Okay, that is to create social equality and promote social welfare to all people in the society. That is the main goal of our constitution. Okay, what is that? To create a social equality and provide or promote social welfare in the and the social welfare of all people in the society. To enable this, directive principles of state policy have been incorporated in the Constitution through 42nd Amendment done in 1976. Through this amendment, land reforms and other progressive economic reforms were introduced. Okay. Now only I told you these directive principles of the state policies were incorporated by Irish country's constitution to our constitution. Next that are secular. The word secular has been incorporated in the constitution through 42nd amendment in 1976. No religion has been given the status of woman, the status of a national religion. And so India is a secular country. It's very important why India is called as a secular country. For this question, the word secular has been incorporated in the constitution through 42nd Amendment in 1976. As per that, no religion has been given the status of national religion in India. Here there is no national religion, okay, in India because India is a country of multi religions. So India is called as a secular country or secular nation. Citizens have the liberty to practice any religion they desire. All religions have equal status in India. Okay. In India, no any other religion, no religion has been given the status of national religion. Here, so India is called as a secular country. Citizens have the liberty to practice any religion. In India, citizens have the liberty to practice any other religion, any religion as per their desires. Okay. Citizens have the liberty to practice any religion as per their desire. All religions have equal status in India. Here, there is no any greater religion and least religion. All religions are equal in front of the law. Next, democratic republic, securing the happiness of everyone is the responsibility of a government is a democracy. Sorry, securing the happiness of everyone is the responsibility of a government in a democracy. Problems are solved through discussions. Elections are held every 5 years through universal adult franchise. The fact that our head of head of the state is president. The fact that our head of the state is the president of India, who is elected for a period of 5 years, prove that our country is a republic. This is about the constitution. Okay, these special terms were incorporated in our constitution. Okay, sovereign, secular, socialist, democratic. These are the special terms of preamble of the constitution. Okay, this is about brief introduction to Indian Constitution. Okay, in previous classes and in today's class also we have discussed about introduction to Indian Constitution. In that Indian Constituent Assembly, we have discussed about the formation of a Constituent Assembly and who are exist in that Constituent Assembly and how it has been formed. Next, we also discussed about drafting committee and who are the members of drafting committee, who was the chairman of drafting committee. And next, now we have in this class we have discussed about framing of the constitution. How many days it has taken to complete its work? 2 years, 11 months it has taken to complete its work. Next, uh, finally they completed the work of writing constitution and they submitted. It means the drafting committee submitted its report to Indian government. Drafting committee submitted its report to Indian government on 26th November 1949, and finally government of India accepted it, and it came into force on 26th January 1950. Okay, from that day India became a republic country. So that's why every year on 26th January we are celebrating as a Republic Day, and on 26th November every year on 26th November we are celebrating as a Constitution Day. Okay, and we also discussed about preamble to the Constitution, how the preamble of the Constitution has been written, and how it starts. Everything we have discussed. And how the Indian Constitution starts and which are the special terms of preamble of the Constitution. Now let me do justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, and some special terms which are incorporated in our Constitution through the 42nd Amendment in 1976. They are socialist and secular. Okay, through the 42nd Amendment in 1976, these two terms were incorporated or added. Okay, so those socialist and secular. In next class, sorry, before that, today's question to you guys. Today, write down the questions. When did we celebrate Constitution Day? Sorry, when did Government of India approved drafting committee's report? Okay, when did Government of India approved drafting committee's report? Okay, and when it accepted that report. Next, when did our Indian Constitution came into force? When did Indian Constitution come into force? Sorry, come into force. When did Government of India accepted drafting committee's report? When did Government of India accept this drafting committee's report? And then a second question: when did Indian Constitution come into force? Next question: when we celebrate Constitution Day and when we celebrate this Republic Day? These are the very easiest questions to you guys. And how many days? How many days Constituent Assembly has taken to complete its work? Okay, how many days Constituent Assembly has taken to complete its work? Next, what is preamble? What is preamble and how it starts? Next question: when did 42nd Amendment made to made to Indian Constitution? Okay. Next, which are the special terms were incorporated to Indian Constitution and when? Next, what do you mean by sovereign? Next, what do you mean by socialist? What do you mean by secular? Next, what do you mean by democratic? What do you mean by sovereign? What do you mean by socialist? What do you mean by secular country? What do you mean by secular country? And what do you mean by democratic country? And what do you mean by republic? You guys write the answer and send in your personal WhatsApp group. Okay. If you have any doubts, means ask me in your personal WhatsApp group also. So we will meet in next class. Okay. Thank you guys.